Hello and welcome to my Magic Ears classroom. I am teacher Carly, and I just wanted to talk to you today about how it is that Magic Ears has become kind of a dream come true for me as a stay-at-home mom. So please grab your cup of tea and join me for a little chat. First thing that I want to say is what is Magic Ears? Well, Magic Ears is an online ESL teaching company. What that means is that people here in the United States and Canada teach children in China how to speak English. And there are actually several companies that do this, but they all have various differences. Magic Ears, for example, has one teacher teaching 4 students instead of a normal 1-to-1 ratio. And it also means that we are awake when the children are getting home from school in China. So big time difference to consider, which means that we tend to be up very early in the morning. But these up-and-coming companies have been very successful. Magic Ears is one of the newer ones. VIP Kid is one of the much older ones. They kind of started getting this ball rolling. So anyway, that's what it is. I talk to children in China in a live video chat system every morning, and I help them learn English. So why do I love Magic Ears? Well, for one, it's the hours. As I mentioned, there's a time difference between us and Beijing. So from Central Time, Beijing is 13 hours ahead of us. So I'm getting up at 5:30 in the morning, and I start teaching, and they're getting home from school at that time. And when I first started researching this, I thought, wow, that is really early to start working, especially when you have to be super energetic at that time in the morning, and it's hard. So then when we started to plan for it a little better, it started to make a lot more sense because my husband was still home at that time. So I teach before he goes to work, and if any of the children, including our littlest baby, wake up, he takes care of them. So I get to devote myself completely to teaching without having to worry about any of my children interrupting. Plus, I set my own schedule. I get to open up the number of slots that I want to, or none at all if I so choose. It is a very flexible schedule, and there are a lot of hours that you can choose from. So you can teach in the morning or you can teach in the afternoon. It all just depends on what you're able to do. Thing number 2 is the pay. The pay is really good. Compared to a brick and mortar company, Magic Ears, you don't have to work a whole lot to make a pretty good amount of money. Just to give you an example, you get a $9 base pay for every class that you teach. Classes are 25 minutes long. You get an extra $1 on top of that if you enter your first class of the day early. So then that means $10 a class. And then if you open 60 slots for the month, you get another $1 on top of every class that you've taught. So that means you get $11 per class, or $22 an hour. You can see how that stacks up pretty quickly. I don't have to work a huge number of hours to make a pretty good supplemental income, and that is awesome because I can't devote that much time to a job on the side. I'm very busy with my toddlers. So thing number 3 is that I get to use my degree in teaching, but I don't have to lesson plan. Magic Ears has already figured all of that out. I do have to prep for each lesson, but they have the curriculum completely spelled out. So that is a certain amount of tedious work that I don't even have to worry about, but I still get to teach, and I love it because teaching is one of my biggest passions. I love it just so much. But who actually has time to lesson plan? I know that real teachers don't really have time to lesson plan, but that's something that they do. So that is awesome. Now, thing number 4 is Magic Ears is a small company, and they're very family oriented. So thing number 4 would be the values that you get to encounter with Magic Ears. Some of the ESL companies that are out there have very unforgiving policies about having to cancel classes or missing classes because of emergencies. I know of one in particular that you could just lose your job just because you had to take a kid to a hospital, and that was it. That was the only chance you got. And Magic Years has been very, very forgiving about that, because as a mama, I never know who's going to wake up in the middle of the night puking, or who's going to wake up sick or need to go to the doctor. And Magic Years is very understanding about that. And so that has been a huge plus, because it makes me feel like I don't have to pretend that I don't have kids, when it comes to my job. Magic Years is also very small, so there's right now around between 200 and 300 teachers with Magic Years, as opposed to VIP Kid, which has about 30,000, give or take. So I don't feel like I'm just a number. Magic Ears has spoken to me in a much more personal way, which I think is awesome, because Magic Ears really pushes its teachers to grow. And it's a lot easier to grow within a community than it is when you're just a number, of so many that you feel like they don't have to care about you. The Magic Ears does, and they are incredibly supportive. Which leads me to my next point, and that is that this company, despite being just a supplemental job on the side, has really forced me to work hard to grow and to add to my skill set. In fact, trying to get my next teacher rank has been an incredibly humbling experience, and that's a good thing to have in a job. If you are striving to grow in a job, especially in a supportive environment, it really helps you to grow as a person as well. And you should always feel like you can move up, instead of feeling like you're just stuck in a dead-end job. So there are opportunities to increase your teaching rank, and there are opportunities to take on secondary positions. And so those are both really awesome things to strive for within this company. And then the last thing that I want to say is that teaching with Magic Ears is a lot of fun. I love teaching with Magic Ears. And I did actually work for another company for a little bit. And there's just no comparing, because Magic Ears is very ahead of their time when it comes to the interactive teaching platform. While maybe VIP Kid started all of this, and they're a very good company, when you go from teaching a very still PowerPoint with VIP Kid and then jump into Magic Ears, it's like, wow, this is so much more fun, because everything moves, there's a lot of different functions, and it's just a lot more to help engage the kids. And so Magic Ears is definitely doing that right as far as the teaching platform goes and all of the functions. So anyway, that is kind of the things that have made Magic Years an incredible dream come true for me as a stay-at-home mom, because I actually looked for a very long time to find a job on the side, and I almost tried to sell insurance. And I'm so glad that I got into Magic Years instead. So if you are interested in Magic Years, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom and you've got a bachelor's degree and maybe a little bit of teaching experience, please contact me, use my referral link below, and let me help you walk through that interview and hiring process. I have lots of successes and failures to share, and I would love to support you through that experience. If you liked this video, please put a like below and follow me for more videos in the future about Magic Years.